This is KGW News at noon.
Hello, I'm Christine Pitawanich. Thank you for joining us here at noon. We are starting things off with a quick disclaimer because our top story today is violent, it's also graphic, and some viewers may find it disturbing. Just after 2 o'clock this morning, Gresham police say a man attacked another man who was in his 70s as people watched on a Max platform at the Cleveland station. Police say one man was biting the other man on his face and head. The man in his 70s is in the hospital recovering, and the suspect is in custody. At this point, it's unclear if the two men knew each other. As of noon, police have already left the scene, and there are no TriMet service disruptions. But this attack is the latest in the Portland metro area where there's been record violence. Last year, we saw a record number of homicides, and just last week, this video was released showing a woman pushing a 3-year-old right onto the Max tracks at the Gateway Transit Center. And another story we are tracking this noon in just about a half an hour. The 28-year-old man charged with murdering 4 University of Idaho students will appear in court for the very first time. Police arrested Brian Kohberger last week. Here you can see the Washington State University student being ushered inside a Pennsylvania courthouse. He was a PhD student studying criminal justice at the university's Pullman campus. Kohberger is expected to waive extradition at the upcoming hearing and return to Idaho as early as tonight. The family of one of the victims, Kaylee Gonsalves, said they never heard of Kohberger before his arrest.
I want this guy to get, whoever this person that was responsible for this, I want him to be sick of seeing us and sick of knowing that these people won't let it go.
The evidence police used to build a case against him is sealed. That is until he's back in Idaho. But we could have more details as soon as tonight. The public defender representing Kohberger says his client was shocked by his arrest and says Kohberger believes he'll be found innocent and cleared of all charges. Right now, House Republicans are voting to decide who will lead the new House majority. California Republican Kevin McCarthy is the hopeful, but it is by no means a sure thing. After a first-round vote, the Republican did not have enough weight behind him to become Speaker, sending the decision to a second vote. Now, the second vote is happening right now, and McCarthy will apparently fall short once again. House Democrats taking a more decided stance today, though, all of them throwing their support behind Democrat Hakeem Jeffries to lead the party in the minority. And it was a historic day on the Senate floor for Washington Senator Patty Murray.
Without objection, if the senator from Washington will present herself at the desk, I will administer her oath of office.
Senator Murray is the first woman to ever serve as Senate President pro tempore. It is the second highest ranking position in the Senate. In that role, she will sign bills that head to the president's desk. Murray took her oath from Vice President Kamala Harris earlier this morning.
Do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, congratulations.
Senator Murray is also now third in line for president following the vice president and Speaker of the House. Last night, the country watched as Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin collapsed to the ground. You may have seen it yourself on TV. Now at noon, he remains in critical condition. NBC's Maggie Vespa has the very latest from outside the hospital where Hamlin is being treated.
The Buffalo Bills now saying that Damar Hamlin is inside the Cincinnati hospital in critical condition, sedated. All of this, the team says, as a result of cardiac arrest on the field last night. And of course, that terrifying ordeal playing out in the middle of Monday Night Football. We saw players on the field openly weeping and consoling each other. We saw fans in the stands just largely stunned and silent for several minutes on end, only really applauding when Hamlin was taken out of the stadium on a stretcher later in the game. And of course, actually speaking of the game, the NFL, of course, in a rare move, postponing the game entirely. Overnight, the show of support and the just outpouring of love online has been staggering, including from T. Higgins, the Cincinnati Bengals player who collided with Hamlin just before Hamlin collapsed. Higgins tweeting that his thoughts and prayers are with Hamlin and his family. And of course, all of this coming amid a lot of conversations about how every single time these players step on the field, they are taking a dire risk. Back to you.
Again, Maggie Vespa reporting there. Just hours ago, the NFL tweeted out a statement reading in part, the NFL continues to be in regular contact with the medical team caring for Damar Hamlin. And after speaking to both teams, the Bills-Bengals game will not be resumed this week. NFL officials say no decision has been made on whether to resume the game at a later date even, but that this decision will not impact the upcoming regular season schedule. And we just got an update on the man who was shot by an Oregon State trooper in Albany during a high-speed chase. 40-year-old Stephen Schmidt Shelton of Corvallis now out of the hospital. He's in jail and facing multiple charges, including attempted murder. We also have more details about exactly what happened. It started along Peoria Road in Corvallis just before noon yesterday. The Albany Police Department says the driver did not stop for police, then fired multiple shots at Corvallis officers. The chase continued into Albany, where officers said they used spike strips to try to slow the driver down. It ended near the Albany train depot, where a trooper shot Schmidt Shelton. We talked to a person who lives nearby and showed up as it all unfolded.
As I got there, they were hauling the suspect away in the ambulance towards Good Sam in Corvallis. There have been a few car chases that have gone by, but they're fairly rare. And for one to end, right by me with a police shooting, that's very unusual for Albany, yes.
Schmidt Shelton is now in the Lynn County Jail. Let's head to a Call Kyle investigation. This time it's into gas prices. More specifically, one gas station in Woodburn that's charging almost $7 a gallon. Some customers had no idea it was going to cost that much until it was just too late. KGW's Kyle Aboshi spoke to some of those drivers who were obviously not very happy once they realized how much they paid for a full tank.
Nobody likes high gas prices, but it's even worse when you're stuck paying more than you expect. And at the Arco AM/PM in Woodburn,
I think I just got screwed. Royal.
Customers were shocked after we warned them.
Did you check your receipt?
I didn't until now, but
check the receipt.
$6.69.
Wow.
The Arco AM/PM in Woodburn is charging $6.69 a gallon for regular unleaded gas. That's $3 more than the Chevron across the street.
Oh, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
Not only do consumers complain gas prices are outrageously high at the Arco AM/PM in Woodburn, but they're not posted out front. There's a big banner over the price sign.
So that's pretty deceptive. And I'm going to go in there and talk to her right now and ask what's going on.
Chris Lemieux had no idea how much he was paying for gas until it was too late. Employees said there was nothing they could do. His $90 fill-up was nearly double what Lemieux would normally pay.
That was our lunch. We were, you know what I mean? So it's, pretty messed up.
Can you fill it with unleaded, please?
2 years ago, a KGW investigation looked into this exact same issue. Turned out in Oregon, gas stations are not required to post signs on the street for passing drivers. Instead, they just need to display prices on the pump, which the Arco AM/PM does. Records show over the past 2 years, there have been 51 consumer complaints filed with the Oregon Department of Justice about the Arco station in Woodburn. Of those complaints, most involved claims of charging an excessive price. The complaints were quickly resolved, records show, because in most cases, gas stations can charge whatever they want.
This is pretty messed up.
A lawyer representing the Arco AM/PM in Woodburn explained the station is a franchisee of BP Arco and has charged higher prices than neighboring stations. This makes it necessary to charge more. For consumers, best advice, confirm the price of gasoline before filling up. And if driving through Woodburn along Interstate 5, certainly be mindful if pulling into that Arco station. Kyle Aboshi, KGW News.
Man, those drivers, I feel their pain. Chris, do you check when you pull up to, get your gas filled up?
We had this discussion this morning and you're like, yeah, come on, don't you check? But think about it really, because here in Oregon, because, we don't pump our own gas here, you kind of take it for granted. You could see how that would happen, that the drivers were caught off guard. So Man. Ouch. All right, well, let's talk about something a little more pleasant, like our weather that's not so rainy just yet. It will be a little bit later today, but for right now, we've got cloud cover moving in and radar showing our next batch of moisture here that's been just offshore for much of the morning is now working its way inland. So the coast beginning to get a little wet. The live scan showing a couple sprinkles around Tillamook. I don't have any ground truth to this yet, meaning maybe it's not reaching the ground just yet, but eventually I expect this to fill in. And so the dry conditions that we're enjoying right now are probably going to give way to some showers later today, probably in the 3 to 5 o'clock time frame. All right, Wells Fargo sky camera showing broken cloud cover over downtown. It's still a little breezy at the airport. East winds sustained at 7 miles an hour, Troutdale at 20, and the gusts are 30 to 40 miles an hour on the east side of town out towards Troutdale. So not as strong as yesterday, but still breezy. And when you factor in the temperature of 40, it feels a little crisp in Troutdale. It's 41 in Scappoose, by the way. Tillamook checking in with 46. All right, the plan for the rest of this afternoon, cloud cover thickening, the chance of showers increasing right about the time the kids are getting out of school and folks are heading out on the roads home from work and school today. I do expect some light rain showers, much like yesterday, with highs pretty much holding in the mid 40s. Your full forecast for the rest of the week coming up in just a few minutes.
Okay, thanks, Chris.